how did we get to deciding what we were going to run a bond on and what is the details, and how was the idea, the concept of what we're proposing in our bond, how did it come about? Well, each 10 years, every county in the state of West Virginia, according to Policy 6200, is compelled to do a 10-year comprehensive facility plan, or we refer to it as the CEFP. That is made up of, by code, is that we have to select and develop a committee. And what we did to develop our committee this year was that we asked each principal throughout the county to submit 2 or 3 names that would be a representation of their schools. Also, the board members and I looked at each geographical area in the county to make sure that we had representation. So we started out with roughly a 30-person committee, and maintain true to about 15 to 20 people on our committee. So part of that committee, the steps in it is that you have to develop countywide goals and objectives and evaluate your previous 10-year plan, which we did. Also, the committee then is charged to research and compile the data, and each committee, we took the committee of 30 people, divided them into 3 subcommittees, and they were tasked with looking at answering certain questions. For example, the 3 areas were, for one, was an educational committee. They were to look at curriculum, delivery methods, and instruction. So this committee focused on that curriculum instructional area, and they had a series of questions they had to look at, research, and answer, and collect data. The second group of committees chose the support of the operations of the schools. And then the third group took on personnel issues and looked at county census data over demographics. Okay, so each group did their individual subcommittee work, brought it back and did a presentation. And I share with the committees or people as I talk, if you were to take those 3 groups and lay them side by side or put them over top of another, probably 8 out of their top 10 recommendations were all consistent. So even though they were 3 subcommittees, they came together with very distinct directions for our county. Then at the same time, our architects were doing an evaluation of our schools. They were doing the assessments. What was the current conditions of our schools? Then together came back the committees, and it was tough on the committees because some of our committee members were representing some of our small schools, came with the thing, no, we want to keep our small schools open, we need to fight for our schools. But the committee did an outstanding job of looking at the overall needs of the county and were to collectively put maybe their preferences aside and doing what's best for county, and with a plan. Then that plan went to the Board of Education for approval. Once it was approved, then it went on to the state.